Musician Damon Albarn likes a challenge. He's enjoyed chart domination with Blur and huge popular success with Gorillaz, but he's also been a committed contributor to every Manchester International Festival, kicking off with the hit Chinese opera Monkey, creating music with Punch Drunk and Adam Curtis, and now working with director Rufus Norris on Dr. Dee. It's been marketed as an English opera, but Albarn muses that it might be better described as a melancholy. Michael Smith's been finding out more.
History is full of forgotten men. Brilliant, strange, complex men whose influence has resonated through our culture in ways that may have become obscured. One such man was the Elizabethan thinker and occultist, Dr. John Dee.
John Dee's a shadowy, obscure figure at the heart of the English Renaissance. Elizabeth I called him her philosopher, and he was the inspiration for Shakespeare's Prospero and Marlowe's Faust. A cryptographer and a spy whose code name was 007, he's also been called the first English think tank. He's the man who came up with the idea of the British Empire, the idea that England could become a maritime power that had challenged Spain's domination of the New World.
Dee lived in an age where the line between science and sorcery was blurred. Mathematics, like magic, was still considered to be an uncanny art, the work of the devil. Dee plumbed the mysteries of both. I never found any man living, nor any book I could yet meet withal, was able to teach me those truths I desired and longed for, he wrote. Instead, Dee searched for these truths through supernatural communication with angels. This was a step too far, even for the Queen's philosopher. His reputation tarnished, Dee fell out of favour with the royal court.
In 1596, Dee was made the warden of what's now Manchester Cathedral, and he lived here in Cheetham Library, which is the oldest public library in Britain. It was somewhere he was free to continue his occult research, and tongues wagged that he was conjuring up the devil. The legend's grown up that this burn mark here was caused by the devil's hoof.
Dee supposedly summoned him up one dark night. The life of John Dee proved the inspiration for Damon Albarn's latest opera, showing here at Manchester. I caught up with Albarn between performances and asked what attracted him to the character of John Dee.
I've always been fascinated with history. It was one of the few things that history and music were the things at school that I was interested in.
Okay.
Just everything about him was just really elegant, and I'm a great fan.
Did you see a lot of threads between that Dee's time and our time? Like, was there a resonance?
Yeah, I mean, well, the two Elizabeths was an easy starting point for that. I'm sort of an Englishman alive and the last embers of the fire, and he was an Englishman who kind of stoked the fire, exactly.
Yeah.
The melancholy score features the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra and a mixture of African and English musicians, including Fela Kuti's legendary drummer and frequent Albarn collaborator Tony Allen.
I got a real sense watching the opera that, you know, there's these sort of disparate things like a kora and African instruments, and then these medieval English things which, you know, could quite easily not have gelled. Like, it really felt they were sort of tapping into some kind of force, if you like.
Well, yeah, I mean, a force that you know, if you talk about intangible things like vibration, stuff you can't see or hear necessarily, I think absolutely they come from the same place. And they all come from a very sort of different sound world. You know, I mean, all those instruments sound amazing together with no amplification, and it is really nice just to sort of leave the amplified world.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't kind of quite leave my microphone.
Why did you put yourself in the opera? Why did you want to star in it?
I never wanted to star in it. That's kind of more of a marketing.
Right.
I'm never really comfortable with that. I mean, it's been an amazingly collaborative process. And I was just singing some of the stuff myself, and it's just like, I really love this. I'm completely comfortable being in this world, and in a way, it's kind of it's an opportunity to say something about England, which there's no other frame I can imagine that I'd be able to say it within.
People of the rose, the nightingale rejoices, but the hour disapproves of our delight. The sun out of the valley comes the song of our accord.
I find something strangely moving about John Dee. I think it's because he embodies an esoteric current that runs through English culture. It's in the myths of King Arthur or Stonehenge. It's something that our artists have instinctively channeled. It's in the words of Shakespeare or the pictures of Blake. Or more recently, it's in the songs of Syd Barrett or Nick Drake. The strange sense of the magical that seems indefinably English.